What is up, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Case Race, the show where we dip deeper and deeper into John's alcoholism, but as we smack.
And we smack around the brewskis.
You are right.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a vodka tonic. Todd, Jesus. What are you drinking?
Well, that's a little light. I'm drinking a Crook and Marker.
Yeah, well, that's actually much lighter than a vodka tonic, but
I'm trying to cut back.
Roles are reversed tonight.
Anyways.
What are we talking about, Todd?
Today, we're going to be talking about the death of a man named Ray Rivera. And that may ring familiar with some of you, because you may be familiar with the Netflix series called Unsolved Mysteries.
So I think, and I apologize if this is incorrect, but I think it's season 1, episode 1 of the Netflix version. I was talking to you about this earlier. I didn't realize that the original Unsolved Mysteries has like 500 to 600 episodes. It's an insanely long-running show. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that those were correlated either, but they are.
Also, we apologize if this doesn't sound as crisp as normal. We have had an influx of issues tonight. We're both recording off the same mic.
And we're hammered.
But yes, we're like on the same microphone. It's like a Joe Rogan.
I'm going to try to keep that right there because it sounds so much better when because you hear this.
Yeah.
I was hearing, well, you had your elbows on and I did too. I could hear this the whole time.
Yeah.
This. And that's why I moved that out of there. Okay, so
anyway, yes, we're Mike's saying what they used to be, but hey, the show must go on. So let's talk about Ray Rivera. So this is from season 1, episode 1 of the Netflix show Unsolved Mysteries. I think it's called Mystery on the Rooftop.
Yes.
And this is actually the episode, the preview from this episode is what made me want to watch this show. You and I watched a bunch of these together because it's super interesting. The show is super interesting. And you and I were talking about this behind the scenes. Like, I do think that these cases getting like some national attention could maybe like potentially help them. So yeah, we have a small audience, but you never know. Gets TikTok, yep. Whatever. Like we want to help, or we just want to talk about it. So
like here's the weird thing. Like, should I dive right in?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
dive right in, Todd.
Ray was a guy who was about our age. He was 32,
which is crazy because I feel like when we watched this, it felt
he was like 45, right?
Yep.
Because and what struck me really weird is he moved from California, right, to Baltimore, Maryland, which by today's standards, no offense to people in Baltimore, it's a fucking shithole and a half. It has been for the last 5-10 years. But this happened 15 years ago in 2006. And, hey, sorry.
Was it that long ago? See, that's why he felt so much older.
Yeah, exactly.
He literally was.
Yeah, so right now, instead of 32, he'd be, 15 years plus that? That'd be 47, right? No, I'm sorry. He'd be 43, 44. No, that's not.
He was 32 47. In what year? 2006. So he'd be
47.
Well, so that'd be 15. He'd be turning 47, 48, depending on when his birthday was.
I'm terrible with math. But anyways, so what struck me as really weird is that they moved from California to Baltimore for him to become a writer. So I've watched this episode twice, and I've familiarized myself with this case quite a bit. And it just strikes me as really weird that he moved there to become a writer. Okay, for his friends.
You can also write anywhere.
Well, First off, yeah. Okay, so he was going to be a writer and a videographer for Stansberry Investment Company. Okay, and Stansberry and Associates Investment Research Company was owned. I believe it was started and owned by his friend Porter Stansberry. And his friend...
Porter Stansberry screams,
I'm a frat boy.
I have been accused of the R word.
Yes, dude.
My parents have a massive $7 million bank account. Yep.
Because who at 32 has a company called that's probably worth X amount? I don't know. But he does. And it's to me, so that's like a little sus. Like, you and your family move out to Baltimore, which is kind of a shithole.
Kind of is a nice word.
Yeah, to be a writer. Let's back up. To be a writer.
When you think of the shittiest big cities in America, like
Minneapolis is number one.
Well, but let's go back historically. Number one, like when I always thought of like the
Chicago.
Worst town. No, it was always Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
that's Baltimore. Where the Wire's made about.
My My relatives live in
Yeah.
Baltimore. It's a shithole. No, but like when I first watched the episode, I didn't pay attention to his occupation. I think like honestly, that's what a lot of people are missing here. Okay,
Right.
because he was a writer and a videographer. How much money can you make being a writer and a videographer? So why would he actually leave his
Why don't you stay in Los Angeles, California area,
or wherever he's from in California?
Yeah, that's a good point.
To relocate.
Yep.
Here's what it's, and this is all very suspicious circumstances, this whole case. To me, the guy wasn't a writer.
Right.
That screams I launder money. Or I am involved with the cartel. Or I'm involved with something deep.
Yeah.
If it's in Baltimore, that's close to D.C., I'm involved with government weird research shit.
Right.
I'm a writer. I'm going to relocate my family because I'm a fucking writer. That screams red flags to me. So I picked up on that the second time I watched this, because the first time I was like, well, maybe he killed himself. I don't buy it.
No,
I don't buy it at all. And so, do you want me to keep going on this, or do you have a couple things?
So let's get into the case. So essentially, Ray was working in Baltimore.
Yep. Him and his wife had a 2-year plan.
Yep. And one night he just gets a phone call, sprints out of the house.
Yep.
In a hurry, something urgent comes up, right?
Yep.
Is not seen or heard from in days. How long?
So they basically discovered his car, and he was missing for quite a while before they found him, and I can't remember the exact length of time.
It was like over a week for sure. It was longer than you'd think for like a big city, and well, just because
it says, after several days of searching, his whereabouts were found, and his car was located in a parking lot off of St. Paul Street near his workplace. So his coworkers went to the top of a parking structure, and they noticed a hole in a roof of the south wing of the Belvedere Hotel.
Which is a famous hotel in Baltimore.
Right. And so the speculation...
It's my neighbor showering, dude. No, or his water was on. I don't know. Anyway, the show must go on.
So basically, there's speculation as to whether or not he killed himself. Did he jump off? Or did somebody push him off? Or was his body placed there? And the one thing a lot of people are saying is that, the trajectory is that it wouldn't have been possible. Bullshit. That is bullshit. He definitely could have gotten a running jump and done that. I mean, I'm not a geometry, trigonometry
So
expert.
my original theory versus my current theory has changed.
Okay, so let us in.
So when we first watched this episode, I thought that he somehow got thrown from the roof and landed feet first, right? Because why would somebody get a running jump? Because the trajectory of the jump is far. Like, if you're going to commit suicide, you would just jump. You wouldn't fucking take a running start. Well, then, when I was researching this case, I went on Reddit today, and I found this post that got a bunch of comments and likes from an attorney. And this attorney was saying that they were representing a client who fell 3 stories and lived, but because they fell and they were trying to sue these people, whatever, they brought in all these specialists. And what they were saying is the fall that Ray Rivera took and like the way the heels went through, people like rock climbers who jump and off of like a high whatever and they live, they break their heels first. And that's how Ray Rivera went through. He went heels first. That's why the hole's so small. Whereas, like, someone who was thrown would go their heaviest part first, which would be their torso, so the hole would be wider.
So are you saying if he was thrown alive or dead?
Either or. It wouldn't matter.
Well, if you were alive, you'd be able to rotate.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but if you were... How would somebody...
I've seen enough 9/11 jumper videos to know.
But how would somebody... throw a... He was a big guy, right? We didn't talk about this. Like, he was a big, tall, athletic guy.
Yeah, he was big. Well, even in the video, they say he was small torso, big, athletic arms.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, how would 2 people, 3 people throw him. You gotta realize how far out he was, like his body went through versus the roof. 2 people couldn't throw him that far.
So let's split this conversation here.
Okay.
Let's talk about one of 2 things. Number 1, let's say he wasn't killed. What are the reasons he'd kill himself? There's only a couple reasons people kill themselves, right?
Well,
financial burden.
Right.
Deep, dark secret that they can't live with, like cheating on their spouse, and somebody's going to out them because they're a cheater.
Right.
Which he didn't have kids, so who really fucking cares, right? It's not like he's going to ruin his family.
Right.
What are some other reasons? Financial. Okay, so we got financial.
Could just be depressed, hate your life.
Depressed.
I mean, Robin Williams killed himself and no one saw that coming.
Right, but not in like a super dramatic way.
Well, that's the thing, though. If you're going to kill yourself, why would you jump?
Because he had that note, right? But it was just very bland.
Yeah.
It wasn't an actual note. It was a list, is what they said.
Now, wait a minute, though. Can you pull up, because before we tell what we think happened, something really weird with his business partner happened after he died, right?
Yeah, his business partner was arrested, I believe, for, was it wire fraud? I can't. Don't quote me on any of this. This is all allegedly and speculation as to what I'm saying here. So, hold on one second. Okay, well, first off, it says Rivera's eyeglasses and phone were found relatively intact on the lower roof near the hole. Because circumstances surrounding the incident are unclear, the medical examiner marked Rivera's manner of death as undetermined. People can survive. Dude, just because you jump off a fucking building doesn't mean that your glasses are going to break. Look at a fucking Nokia phone from 1999. Right. That shit. Plastic is hard, people. Like, glasses aren't made of glass. They're made of fucking polycarbonate, which is a plastic which is fucking hard that melts at 550 degrees. Like, it takes a little bit to break your... If glasses were easy to break, guess what? They break all the time just from touching them. They're not actually fucking glass.
Well, and also one thing about this case that we haven't talked about is that, the hotel, doctored or fucked up a bunch of footage. They wouldn't release footage. They were not being compliant in the case at all. So a lot of people think that, someone was definitely in there covering it up. Sorry, I'm getting the table. But yeah, people were covering it up, or people were doing stuff or whatever.
So the police have said that this is a probable suicide, which it could be, but it's very suspicious. But I'm looking up Frank Porter Stansberry right now, and it says he's a American financial publisher and author. So this is what fucking weirds me out. You're a publisher and an author. I know one author.
Right.
Let's be honest. What's an author making a year? How much can a publishing company who's kind of pretty much unknown make? You're not a publisher. You are in some sort of black market weird shit. I'm not trying to throw accusations around, so we're going to say alleged, but okay, he's the author of a monthly newsletter, Stansberry Investment Advisory. Do you know how many people probably read that? 4 people probably read that. Something funky's going on here. And okay, in 2002, the SEC brought a case against... Exactly, here we go. In 2002, the SEC brought a case for securities fraud, and a federal judge fined him $1.5 million in 2007. Okay. Why?
Dude, I think I know what happened. Here's what I think happened. I think that Ray found out something he shouldn't have known.
Like that they were laundering money?
Something like that, right? So then they called him and they made up some excuse. So that's why he rushed down there. And then when he got down there, they tried to kill him. And the reason it looked like he jumped off the roof is because he did. He ran and jumped off the roof trying to get away from him.
You're probably right.
And I think he went through the roof, and I think he lived for a little bit. He died from his injuries, and that's what happened. And then they go, oh, it's a suicide, even though the math and the trajectory and everything doesn't make sense. I truly believe that is what happened.
Listen to this. In 2002, Stansberry sent out an email offering to sell for $1,000 the name of a company purportedly about to obtain a contract to dismantle nuclear weapons for Russia. The SEC sued him in 2003. On this basis, and his newsletters containing nothing more than baseless speculation and outright lies, accusing him of a scheme to defraud public investors by disseminating false information. The case went to trial in 2005, and the federal court, upheld on appeal, found that Stansberry had sent out a newsletter to subscribers predicting one of the company's stocks was going to increase by over 100%. Okay, so he basically was sued and fined for what sounds to be like insider trading or something like that. But if he had interests with Russians, this could be a whole government conspiracy where, I mean, that's really not a stretch. I mean, Russians could have killed the guy. They could have been involved with some bad Russians. They could have been involved with some bad United States government officials, and they could have found out things that they shouldn't have been.
So what is this case ruled to as of right now? Because it was on Unsolved Mysteries, 15 years later.
It was ruled a probable suicide.
So what do you think happened? Let's wrap it up with that. What do you think happened?
I think that their business was a front for something much bigger. Probably government related or money laundering or cartel. Probably Russian mobs. And they got into the wrong shit. He found out too much. And he was killed. And I think his wife...
Do you think he was thrown, though? What do you think happened with his whole death? Because it's a weird circumstance.
I think they basically brought him up onto the roof and were like...
Jump off.
You're fucking jumping.
Or we're going to kill your wife or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or they four dudes fucking did the old toss-a-roo.
They couldn't have thrown him that far. They would have forced him to run and jump off. That's what I think. Or he was running from me, trying to jump, thinking he could maybe survive it,
Yeah, I don't think it was a suicide. I mean, I will say this. It really bothers me when the wife or the spouse or the husband or the father or the son, anybody who says, oh, they would have never committed suicide. That really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because, anybody's capable of it.
So, you don't know what's going on in anyone's head.
Right.
Also, I mean, if...
But I think she's onto something. I think she's right.
If what we describe as crazy, I mean... Go look at Ozark. That's a story about a family that gets in over their head.
Well, you remember in the first episode where that guy fucking falls from the building?
Oh, yeah.
Wendy's fucking dude?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what you think happened. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It'll be... I don't know if this case has been reopened, but I do feel like it... Anyway, anything else you have to add, I guess?
No, I think... I hope people continue to look into this and... Only time will tell, really.
I would say anyone listening to this, we're gonna do some more podcasts about Unsolved Mysteries. Check it out. There's some are not that interesting, but some are very interesting. The 13 minutes one about Patrice who went missing.
Yeah, I think
the guy who killed his family was never seen again. It's just it's unreal. John and I were talking about missing people even from our area, these people that are just gone for 15, 20.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a lot more missing people and unsolved crimes from here on out.
Because at the end of the day, if somehow, I just said if 4 times, if somehow we ever gain traction and can help solve any of these cases,
that'd be awesome.
That's really what we want. I mean, we talked a lot about Gabby Petito, but the internet helped solve Gabby Petito.
Yeah.
So, thanks everyone for listening. Check us out on the next Unsolved Mystery.
Yes.